Hey y'all, I'm Todd Bailey.
What's up? It's Arie Lombardozzi.
And this is fucking Brewtal.
Get in the pit, stock up the fridge, and listen. We're here to cover the latest in metal news and craft beer. A match made in hell.
If it makes you bang your head, then we want to hear it. If it tickles your taste buds, share those suds.
Turn it up to 11.
Crack open that beer.
It's about to get brutal.
What's good there, Hopwolves? It's your boys, Todd and Arie. We're back with Brewtal Podcast. It's been a hot minute, but we haven't forgotten about yins. Been enjoying a brat summer, working a lot, moving. It's just been, there's been a lot going on these last couple months, but like I said, we're not going anywhere. Just going to take us a little bit longer than usual to come back with certain episodes, but we always have to come back and do our best of. This is Q2 today of 2024. So we always have to make time for this one, even when life is fucking crazy. But we've got some tasty beverages, some tasty jams, and ready to plow. I mean, that's it, dude. We won't get too much into what we're drinking. I will say, we talked about this before. We're foregoing our favorite beer of Q2, which Q2 is April to June of this year. But we're not going to forget about that part. That'll come up later for our Q2 or our 2024 wrap up.
That's right.
But it's just been a little too hard these last couple months to really think. I will say I do want to shout out Garage Beer. Their lime lager is fucking awesome, and I really like that beer. I will say that. But what are you drinking? You got some blue
elixir.
Elixir, yeah.
So I am drinking what is called Empress gin. Anyone can find it anywhere, really. I don't know. This stuff's pretty good. It is blue in color, maybe purple. I'm a little colorblind, so forgive me. But for those listening, I'm drinking the blue pill here. And it's a really good gin. I'm having it on its own, but it also makes a nice little cocktail. I've been mixing like some lemon juice with it, some simple syrup. Oh, what else? Oh, like some club soda just to even it out and whatnot. And some elderflower liqueur. Actually, when I visited Arie last, we bought some. So either buy that Saint Germain or Shannon buys this other one that's actually a lot cheaper and I believe is better. So if you find a cheaper bottle of elderflower liqueur, I highly recommend you go pursue that path just to make a drink with this. But on its own, again, really good. I've been drinking this for, the summer we've been talking about here, the Brat Summer. And I really like it. I actually have the bottle here just in case this runs out. So I'll show that off real quick, just so
smart man.
If you are so inclined and are in here in the store, it's got like a nice little wrap around. I'm like trying to get it in here. There we go. Close enough. Y'all saw it. You'll see it on YouTube when we post this episode, but right away, you'll notice its color. It very much stands out versus other gins. I think the next one I want to get, I forget what it's called, but it has something to do with a whale. And it's kind of like an ocean blue color. And it's supposed to, every bottle bought is supposed to like help the oceans or something. So I'm all about that. Cool. I think that's the next one I'm going to go with. But my taste with liquor has been a roller coaster on like where I'm at, but my big ones right now are gin and mezcal. So current update about me.
It's good stuff, dude. I personally have not gotten onto the gin train. Not my cup of tea, but I understand the appeal.
Yeah, required taste for sure.
Yeah.
Or acquired, required.
Acquired.
Yeah.
What it can be a required taste. For here it's required. So I gotta brush up on it.
Yes.
Maybe like I can fuck within certain cocktails, but buy like just like a gin and tonic or something like that. It's been a while, so maybe I have to give it another fair shot. But Todd's got his gin and juice. You know how that goes.
Or agua.
And agua. And yeah, of note, like Todd said, we actually did get to see each other in person not that long ago, so that was fucking cool. Real quick shout out to Veritage Brewworks, our friend of the show, Mark Costa, bassist of Ender. Love those boys. New Jersey band, heavy.
New song out. Check that.
New song. What is it? Was it Straw? The Straw?
Come with a straw, like, and it's great for if you need to drink something. So
you're gonna be drinking out of a straw if you go see them live, especially if you go see them with fucking It Dies Today in October. That's gonna fuck. Celebrating 20 years of the Cative Choir.
Y'all are gonna die that day.
S tier, dude. The choir will be sung.
I'm so fucking mad I didn't get a vinyl. So fuck y'all that made it sold out.
Yeah, those vinyls were fucking fire, dude. And not very many of them. So maybe we can find one secondhand, or if they do other pressings.
That would be dope.
It's not the same, but still. But yeah, just real quick on that, we went up to Todd flew in to Pittsburgh. We hung out, and we got to drive up to New Jersey, Bloomfield specifically. So if you're ever up that area, go check out Veritage. We had some very tasty beverages.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what the one, it was a double like hazy IPA that was really good that we got a 4-banger of.
Yes.
With the Ghost. I know Todd has a picture of it, so we'll post about that. I think we have posted, but yeah, so shout out Veritage. Go check them out for sure. That's the first time that we've been able to visit a brewery that we've talked to on the show together. And we're going to try to make that more of a habit as much as we can. It's a little fucking hard when we don't live in the same area, but we're going to try. But that was fun.
Yeah.
Todd's got some tasty elixir. He's an Empress today. Rat Summer. It's all mathing. Real fast before we get into the meat and potatoes, as we love to say here on the show, I have this bad boy here. It's called Plumification, and it is actually a collab between the main brewery is Velum and it's in a collaboration with Tortured Souls, which is in New Kensington, PA. Velum's in Pittsburgh. Bands listening, New Ken is home to where Preserving is, which is a kick-ass venue. So if you're in the area and you're like, well, we've never played Pittsburgh before, be like, you technically have. That's what New Kensington is. I've had that conversation actually like once or twice with some bands, and I get a big kick out because yeah, it's like about like 25, 30 minutes outside the city.
The greater area kind of bleeds into the mountains. So
yeah, so it's greater Pittsburgh area. It's the same thing if you've ever been to Brigettestown for like a big, like Slipknot just played there. Key Bank, it's still Pittsburgh. But this place is, I've never been there before. So this is the first time I've had any of their beers. My wife, Skylar, and I, we recently started going to the climbing gym, one called Ascend in the South Side. And this particular, so there's 2 locations here. I know there's like other Ascends other places, but this one is on the top floor, which doesn't sound like it should make sense because it's climbing, but it works. And
you have to climb up to get to it.
To get to Ascend, yeah.
You should build a place on top of theirs called Transcend.
2025, let's go. That's that's where the Brewtal studio will be. We'll transcend everything.
Or Ascendancy.
Actually,
I'm just
don't even get me started on that. Please make that a US tour Trivium and Bullet. I'm fucking pissed it's only in the UK right now, or not even UK, it's just a Europe run.
It's a goddamn shame.
Ugh, it's a goddamn shame. Lucky bastards. But yeah, long story short, this is a plum sour. It's very tasty. I've actually been kind of sipping on it before, like in Todd and I's pre-show, and it's crushable, dude. It's 4%. The tasting notes on the can, it says crisp, balanced sour, hints of plum, white wine, and a cereal finish. Can attest to all those. The cereal finish is cool. I've never heard it like expressed that way before, but it's just kind of talking about like the smoothness that's usually like, and like coordination with lactose, like when you have like your like smoothie sours or like your milkshake IPA, stuff like that. But I think in this case, it's the smoothness and also kind of like the graininess
I
that's in there
wonder
too.
if it's describing, back in the day when you would eat cereal and you would kind of like just slurp it at the end with the milk. I wonder if it's,
I think that is like the idea.
yeah.
Is just like it's like easy drinking, right? Like that's always like pretty easy, but you're still getting like a lot of the same. Like if you're drinking like Cocoa Puffs, well, if you're eating like Cocoa Puffs and like you're drinking the milk, like you got chocolate milk at this point,
Yes.
and that's fucking sick. So this is really balanced, dude. Like it said in there, it's really tasty. I wish it was a little bit more tart, just because I like really sour sours, as opposed to like the true vinegary sours, which are also good, but this one's good. I like it. I am definitely grabbing more beer from them after climbing. Yeah, it's good shit. I'm excited. I've been climbing like still early on that in that journey, but they're never open when we're there. They were today because we went a little bit later. Stars aligned. We got tasty beer, tasty gin, tasty jams, top 5 EPs. Let's get into it. The criteria per use are ones that we come back to or just kind of sit in our minds for one reason or another. It doesn't even necessarily have to be like that you love the album, but like if you think about it a lot, it's making the list. At least that's how it is for me.
Yeah, it's like we're picking ones that we do feel are top tier, but also it's very subjective to us that like we enjoyed it so much. Like clearly this is rising up, cream of the crop. So
Yes.
for EPs, top EPs of Q2 for myself, we're starting at number 5, Galamesh with Conditioned Part 1. I'm pretty sure this is a newer band, but very impressed. At number 4, And Hell Followed with Untoward Perpetuity. They're onto something.
I'm so pissed. I forgot all about that one, dude. I will say it made none of my lists, and I'm not changing them now.
Yeah, don't
But
change them. Don't
for
change
the
them.
record,
That
I
just means
feel you
yeah.
because that shit is awesome.
Don't change your list because that just means we're promoting more bands. So not a bad thing.
Yeah.
At number 3, Synestia, and this is a split with Disembodied Tyrant with the Poetic Edda. And I love the name. They went batshit crazy on this and to great effect. So kudos to y'all. At number 2, Greyhaven with Stereo Grief. They deserve their flowers and then some. And if y'all like that EP, just go listen to the rest of their shit because it's amazing.
Yeah.
Number 1, though, Spleen. It can't be worse.
I mean, it could.
I love the EP title because it just makes you like that existential, like it can't be worse, right? But honestly, these guys impressed me so much, and so they're in my number 1. I recommend that one. Like, go check that out. There's some solid tracks on there. There's one in particular. It's got an interesting title to it. It's escaping my mind right now, but it might be like the second or third track in or something like that. Again, it's got a weird title, but let your mind go with that one. It's a longer track and it's cool. But so those are my top EPs. Arie, hit me with what you got.
Okay. Actually, there's only one crossover here, which is exciting.
Yes. Yeah.
So starting off for your boy, I have to go with my boys in Shiver. Shout out Erie, PA. They released their Blood Ice EP, and instrumentally, it's what I would like, what I know and love about Shiver. Hal, I love you, dude. It's just fun. But what's different about this one is, so they've had a lot of singer changes over the year. It's pretty much been like Hal on guitar, Josh on bass, and Brian on drums, I think since day one, but they've had so many different singers over the years. And this is A dude, I'm not, I'm blanking on his name, but like he comes from like eerie hardcore, like Effect in Effect. So like
Nice.
it gives their kind of like new metal, a little like genty metalcore that they do, but mixing it with like the hardcore, like the tough guy vocals. And it's a
Mm.
really weird mix, but it works really well. And I think that they are really coming into their own. Blood Ice is 5 bangers, and you're not gonna be disappointed, dude. And they've had a lot of cool shows. Unfortunately, there was that the Oceano tour for their new album, like the headlining tour, was going to be in Erie with like To the Grave, Half Me, and Shiver was going to
Ooh.
open up. But the production company that does the promoting for that, I don't know what's going on with them, but they lost like a lot of really good shows recently, and that was
Yeah.
one of them.
Smell Empty Soul pulled out too.
Yep. Yes, they did. And that's like twice that they've had to, like, they had to reschedule that show, the
Thanks.
Smile Empty one. So it's, I don't know what's happening, but that's really sad because they were on a good run with good shows bringing back to Erie. But I will say that shout out to our boys in Denialist, Brewtal alum from Ohio. Shiver and Denialist played a show recently, and that fucks. So Blood Ice from Shiver. I am doing what Todd usually does and going off, so I apologize. I'm going to keep it to the list itself now. Number 4 couldn't be a list without North Lane from your boy Mirror's Edge. Is yeah, we'll get into that later. Number 3 is Girl of Glass with their self-titled. Number 2 is Wilt Wither with the yellow wallpaper. And number 1 is Disembodied Tyrant with Synestia, the Poetic Edda. I knew immediately when that came on that that was going to be my favorite for this quarter. Like Todd said, it's fucking batshit crazy. And the first time I listened to Death Empress, I audibly yelled out, "What the fuck?" when the breakdown hit. And
I think you
that
texted
almost
that
never
too.
happens. Yeah, dude, I was enamored by what was happening with that track. And yeah, it's cool. There's a lot of lore there because I think the Poetic Edda has to do with like Norse mythology
Mhm.
of, so yeah, so there's a lot to it. But it's like symphonic deathcore at its finest, and it's heavy, heavy, heavy.
Oh,
I love it. I love it.
there was some that weren't surprises, and that included Wilt Wither and Synestia. But
Mhm.
I'm so glad you involved Shiver because honest to God, I need to check that out. And you describing it that way with like the hardcore vocals, like I'm in. So I'm definitely gonna check that out tonight.
It's good, dude. Like I said, it just like, it doesn't seem like it should work, but it does. And those guys are like super meticulous about who they bring in to the camp and the songwriting itself. So yeah, that's great. North Lane's North Lane. Talked at length about what that band means to me.
Yes,
Girl Glass is Golden
come
Age
on.
deathcore resurgence. Yeah, I mean, if you're a Suicide Silence fan, you know, like that's already a nod right there. And then yeah, Wilt Wither, like Todd said, no surprise. I've been a big fan ever since I found out about them last year, and this is just more of like that heavier metalcore
Hmm.
that I just like in the vein of like a Boundaries or I mean they've toured with like Johnny Booth, stuff like that. I mean that's more like they balance like the heavy with the melodic. But this particular one is like pretty fucking heavy, and there's a really cool guest spot from Carson from the Callous Cowboys that
Oh fuck yeah!
is awesome.
I have
Very
not
last track.
I have not checked that out, and now I got another homework assignment. All right.
And same
Yes.
for myself and your picks.
We're going to keep moving forward. We're going to do albums now. So here we go. Again, this is top albums of Q2 for myself. We are starting out at number 5 with Some Filth and Southern Hostility. If you
Yes,
add
sir.
new metal to deathcore, you got a fan in me. And they're doing it fantastic, dude. This to me is their best album, hands down. And I hope they continue in this direction, keep honing it, and great things are going to happen. And number four, Foreign Hands. What's left unsaid. You turned me onto this late, and like immediately I was just like, what the fuck was I doing not listening to this on the first hour of day one or first minute? Like I should have just dove in, but it is chef's kiss. And again, that's
Yes.
like a throwback sound, but they're doing it so well that it's just like, okay, like, yes, please. Yes, chef.
I mean, they're playing with they played with Misery Signals on their farewell tour, so they're doing something right.
Yes. And RIP to Misery Signals here soon.
RIP.
But if you're gonna give the helm to somebody, give it to this band. And number three, I have Replaisir, which I actually learned the word really doesn't mean anything, but it's I think the guitarist's name spelled backward. So it's Eric.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's Eric Appler. That's I think that the guitarist, but that's their
Nice.
name, and I love it. But
That's sick.
they just released a new one, The Center That Cannot Hold. I got this on vinyl. It's a clear green vinyl, and it, very fitting for the album artwork, which is just totally green. But dude, bangers, and then they kind of go into proggy area with some singing. There's singing in there.
Okay.
But I'm here for it. It actually makes me think of who's that? Uh, he he goes by like a solo project name, Bald Head, not Matt Heafy, but
Devin Townsend.
yes. If you like Devin Townsend, I really feel like you'll like this band, and they bring like some depth to it. So it's a cool combo. And number two, though, I'm going with Ulcerate, Cutting the Throat of God. I got got that on vinyl. That was one of the best finds I've ever had at a vinyl record store, because I was not expecting to find that. They're from the UK, I believe. So to have that,
yeah, I think so,
here in Austin at a record store, I was like, oh hell yeah! I immediately grabbed it. I texted Arie a picture. I was like, not putting this down.
Yeah.
But at number one, you can find the tweet. It's Extortionist, Devoid of Love and Light.
Knew it.
I don't think that's leaving number one. So we'll see what happens at the end of the year. But I like this. If you combine their sound and sprinkle in some Alice in Chains, like I need a new pair of pants already. Like this is just such a good fucking record. And like the singles were good, but then when you listen to it as a whole, this deserves to be listened top to bottom. And I actually like the latter half better. It's perfect in my mind. Like you have to listen to that. For a band to change their sound so drastically and nail it, like kudos to y'all. Like y'all are killing it. Like again, like I was talking about with Filth, I like this sound. Keep at it, keep honing it, and keep on this direction. And I can't wait for what's next from these guys.
Completely agree. Solid list. I knew Extortionist would be number one.
Yeah,
that was.
I told you.
I knew like as soon as. Yeah, which I mean, rightfully so. That one fucks, and it's creepy, it's grungy, it's heavy, it's a lot like. Over the years, we've definitely gotten like more into like genre blending and genre fluidity is like what we like to call it. And that's a perfect example to be like, you have these like, again, like these really like grungy, like kind of sad, depressing choruses, but then beat down, and it's crazy fucking cool. The Ulcerate too, that is one I will say that was up there for myself. It didn't make the list, but that's a journey. Really cool album art. I'm super stoked you got that on vinyl. I'll have to check out your number three. That's the only one that I am unfamiliar with. But yeah, Filth. And then, of course, You know I'm a Foreign Hands fan, so yeah. Yeah. Long legs, Foreign Hands. Um hell yeah. No, I love the list, dude. Love the list.
Sorry, I had to
So many hands.
have to keep doing it, but no, I really think you'll like Replacire because there's some. I know I described Devin Townsend, which can get kind of weird and really expansive, but like
Right.
there's bangers on here, so you're in for a good time.
Better be. Or else I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
I'm just lying to you.
Oh well, wouldn't be the first time.
Oh well, it's Grindcore.
Wait, this is the Full of Hell album, dude. What the fuck? Also great album. Okay, so number 5 for your boy, we're starting off with Candy. It's Inside You.
Oh yeah.
Number 4, this was a really late entry as far as like when release date was, because I think it was like a day or two before like the end of Q2. And I always hate doing that, but this deserves the spot. 200 Stab Wounds with Manual Maniac Procedures. Yep. You already know what it is, dude.
I'm only at 50 right now.
Give me 201. We'll call it a day.
Take another left.
You could be stabbed 200 times and then you could extort the person. I don't know. That's a bad segue. Number 3 is Extortionist with Devoid of Love and Light. Todd, as he mentioned, is his number 1. And this was a band. Big fan. We'll get into that in a little bit. Number 2. And it actually pained me to put them at number 2 because I fucking love this album. Foreign Hands with What's Left Unsaid. Also a late entry, like a later entry in the queue. But number 1, and I knew it was as soon as I listened to it, is Knocked Loose with You Won't Go Until You're Supposed to. Knocked Loose is a divisive band, for sure.
Yeah, you love him or hate him.
Yeah, and it always comes down to the same bullshit argument about the vocalist, but I get it. I understand, like, Brian's vocals are not for everyone. The high-pitched shrill, I get it. It works for me, works for a lot of people. But dude, so I already love this album as is. I actually think it's a perfect length, which I know is like a big gripe with a lot of fans that like we waited so long. Yeah, dude, I actually love. It's the same thing with Foreign Hands, dude. Like that 30-minute like ish is really good for me.
Nice pocket, yeah.
Yeah. And then I had the distinct pleasure to see them on their headlining tour, and it was one of my favorite shows I've ever been to. It's the pageantry, it's the delivery. This is just like, it's still Knocked Loose, but it is different. And again, like some people will not think that, but like it's a little bit more structured than it, like structured in the sense like it's a little bit more pop structured because they went with a different producer. I mean, you got like Poppy on the track, you got like your reggaeton. Yeah, literally. So I love it. I love it. Foreign Hands, same thing. Like melodic metalcore / hardcore. That's my fucking bread and butter. Thank you, Spotify, for telling me that, even though like I kind of already knew, but
they even went heavier in a way.
They did, dude. They did, but then like the melodic parts, which again, it's just like what I'm a fucking slut for, dude. Like Magnetic Roses, the closer, is one of my favorite tracks, and I think that's like the perfect balance between like the melodic and the heavy.
I agree.
And then Lacerated Wings is my personal favorite off, but they're all fucking good. Extortionist, we already talked about. Fucking super sick. One of my favorite callouts with Extortionist, you punk motherfucker, you thought I was done, but I've only just begun.
Dude,
chills,
very
dude.
Winds of Plagueish, and I love it.
Incredible, dude. On that 2023 shit for their sake. 200 Stab Wounds, real quick, like that just, it's death metal done right. And I actually think this is the superior album to Slave to the Scalpel.
I agree.
Which might, it just like the songwriting, the production, everything just got elevated and I really love Slave to the Scalpel. I think that was a great debut album. I know they have other stuff before that too, but this one in particular like really did it for me. And then Candy is Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like the new one is just a grower, not a shower, and I feel like the more you listen to it, but seriously, like the more you listen to it, you're gonna just start getting into the groove of things with it, and then you're gonna be like, okay, to what you said, like it's gonna click.
It's that new wave of death metal, and
Mhm.
Ohio specifically is doing it quite well.
That train wreck water.
It is that train wreck water. A lot of blood, a lot of trains, a lot of water.
A lot of Budweiser probably too.
Yeah, well, that too.
There's a few factors.
There's a lot going on. There's a few factors. And then just lastly, Candy, It's Inside You. It's hard not to compare them to like a Code Orange, but that is like the only, and that's a good thing. Because
That's
they
a dance
are doing,
album to me.
It is, dude. They are taking like hardcore and just doing like whatever the fuck they want. Like it's like some songs are giving like how Turnstile is going in like their direction.
Mhm.
You have like these super poppy songs, but you have your super heavy like just ass beaters too. So it's like it's really like whatever the fuck the band wants to do, but it flows really well. And it gets inside you and it's not gonna fucking leave, dude.
Whatever flavor of candy you like, they got it. It's
They do. And it's all caps. All caps. You know they're not fucking around.
hard to swallow, but it's inside you.
Yeah.
And
Like you might have to go and get a manual maniac procedure to get that shit out.
I would love if on the
And-
next album they went like Willy Wonka with it.
That's a concept album right there. It's all about how much of a piece of shit Grandpa Joe is. You got plenty of lore to go to. Look up that subreddit. One of my
Don't drink
favorites.
that fizzy drink. You'll fly into the fan.
No.
Let's keep it rolling. We are
Yeah.
now moving on to our most brutal EPs. So this is like a whole different category. This is the dumb, stupid, heavy shit that we really liked for EPs. And you might hear some repeats, but this lends itself
You'll
to
definitely hear repeats.
Yeah. So here we go. Number 5 for your boy Todd here, Girl of Glass. With their self-titled. It was, I mean, come on. MySpace Deathcore, baby. Dude, I also thought there was someone behind me, but it's my cat, and I'm in chills right now. If you're listening, my cat is
it the
roaming
full
around.
body chills from
Yes.
wherever I may wander? Your cat, probably, Charlie.
Yeah, it's actually Maya, I believe.
Is it Maya? I can't see, dude. I'm just guessing.
Always getting on the desk. I never know what she's doing back there. All right. At number 4, I am choosing Celestial Sanctuary with Visions of Stagnant Blood.
Hell yeah.
That band is perfect, in my opinion. So go check it out if you want some good death metal. That's it. That's it. That's the quote.
Yeah.
Clip it.
Nice.
At number 3, I'm going with Galamesh that I mentioned earlier with Condition Part 1. I now want to hear Condition Part 2. So come out with it this year, and then we're going to have a problem later this year.
That's when you combine them because you can't choose.
Yep, we did that last year. We cheated. Sorry, y'all, but you just can't choose. You just can't choose. At number 2, and Hellfall with Untoward Perpetuity. And then at number 1, Synestia, Disembodied Tyrant. It's the perfect EP. Let's just be honest with us. Artwork's great. Heavy as fuck. Took a little bit to get out, but we're glad it finally released and y'all nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. So if you're getting a trend, make sure that EP is on your list. And also, and Hellfall with, because I actually think this is the best material they released thus far, and it's super groovy. It's fun. It's a fun,
so groovy.
Yes. So that's it. Those are my most brutal EPs. If you want to just lose yourself at the gym, check those out.
Dude, I'm so pissed. I forgot all about that. And Hellfall with that EP is fucking so sick. So I'm glad that you're giving it some love.
Absolutely.
I apologize, boys, especially because they got a new singer for this go round.
Yes.
Who's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm blanking. I'm blanking
yeah.
on the name, so I apologize.
That's probably why I like it so much more. Then just, I mean, the rest of the band's killing it. I actually think this just, again, I talked about the groove. Like they're, yes.
Four ass beaters, dude.
I just spilled some of my gin for y'all. So if you're listening, let it be known for the record.
Again, great list, dude. About what I thought it would. 3 and 4. I was not expecting the Galamesh, and what was number 4 again? The
Celestial Sanctuary. I remember listening to their LP,
Celestial Sanctuary,
which has amazing artwork. They might be using the same artist, but this EP actually is my favorite of theirs. So I'm excited for their future. They're on that new wave of death metal in a way. Like I don't know if they would even say that, but I lump them in there with the Sangli Sugabog, Undeath, and all of them. Which, by the way, dude, they keep inceptioning their artwork. So I don't know. It's like, you've ever been online in those artists that where you scroll in or zoom in and it's more art. Like that's what they're doing, and it's insane.
I can't wait for that album, and it is. We're not going to get into that because like that's I guarantee you that's going to be on another quarter for Q3. But Brandish the Blade is one of the catchiest death metal songs I've heard this year, if ever. With immaculate artwork, like Todd said, just layers.
There's layers to the shit.
So good, dude. Okay, so. There's a couple crossovers with Todd and I's list, but for the most part, different, which is always good.
Love it.
Number 5, this is another one that came out like right before the end of Q2, but I was immediately hooked. Stupid, dumb, heavy. I'm talking about Funeral Massacre with Despise Yourself.
Great choice.
Oh my God, I'm blanking on the intro track, but it's so fucking good, dude, because it's like a spoof on like a really famous song. I'll have to look it up, but the whole thing, just I'll get into it in a second. I'm already excited. So that's number 5. Number 4, I'm going with Bone Carver and Unholy Disillusion.
Hell yeah.
Number 3 is Peacemaker FL with First Degree. And then these are repeats for myself. Girl of Glass is at number 2, and Disembodied Tyrant, Synestia Split is number 1. I love when we have the same number 1. That's my favorite. So we've talked about Disembodied Tyrant and Girl of Glass to much extent. Peacemaker FL, another MySpace deathcore revival band. It's a great year for that specific genre.
I would even say Florida metal, bro.
Oh, well, yeah, Florida metal, death roll all over motherfuckers. Peacemaker, I know, has, I think it's the guitarist that was in Tactosa.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
before.
I think
there's quite a few like members of other like really sick bands, or like former members of really sick bands in this band, which makes sense because the band's sick. So yeah, if you like that golden age of deathcore sound, that MySpace deathcore sound, you can't go wrong with that. Bone Carver, just another stupid heavy that's more in the death metal realm. And then Funeral Massacre is just really fun beatdown, because beatdown's always fun.
So come on, with a name like that,
dude, incredible bass drops. I love it. Like
that alone,
long bass drops.
Check that out. I'm so glad you picked them and Bone Carver. Actually, I'm glad you're giving them a shout out, because stuff like that's often overlooked. You need to check them out.
Do it.
All right, man.
You should.
We're moving on to our most brutal albums of Q2. At number 5, for me, I'm going with Cognitive Abhorrence. That band
Yep.
is so fucking fun, so heavy. This album's heavier than the last one. I don't know how they did it, but
Yeah.
groovy, bouncy, anything you want to describe it. You're just gonna have a good time, and it's fast paced, in your face, no face, no case. Let's go. At number 4, do not overlook this album. It honestly should be higher in my list, but I'm going with Replicant Infinite Mortality.
Ooh,
That should be on
nice.
everyone's death metal list. Everyone's. Just saying.
Very nice.
At number 3, 200 stab wounds, manual manic procedures. I think by the album artwork alone, this deserves to be at number 3. But like we discussed, they're just onto something, and we both feel that this is their best yet. And number 2, so it starts repeating for this one, although not number 1. But number 2 is Ulcerate, Cutting the Throat of God. Even though it is very progressive in the song lengths and just you can kind of lose yourself to this album, it's still heavy as fuck. And I love it because of that. And what a title for an album.
Yeah.
And number 1, this might be controversial. It might be cheating, but I'm going with Larcinia Row with Dereliction. I know it's kind of
Nice.
they added a song, but it's a slippery slide, and I'm on it. And yeah, I fucking love this band. That new song made it worth it, and I almost put Unhinged as my most brutal song, but I picked another one that I actually forgot about, but I have been listening to, and I'm like, no, it should be this. But that's my favorite track on that album, Unhinged. There's just a crazy mosh part, and then they bring it back for a breakdown at the end. And you'll pretty much find a lot of that on every track. But y'all, Larcinia Row, learn the name, know the name, crosses through the E. Dude, they're probably gonna be like the heaviest band on this next one. Like, how do you top what you just did?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm glad you put them on there because I actually did not put them on for the reason
I
that you
know.
stated. It's
I
like
was. I
it's
felt a
really
little.
just like I don't think that's a bad thing because like it doesn't make it any less heavy.
Yeah.
It's just as heavy as it was last year, and you get a little bit more yeah, their whole
makes you smile.
shtick. Yeah, it makes you smile. It is. It's dumb, stupid, fucking heavy.
God, I love it.
And yeah, super creepy, just really absurd but dumbly heavy. Yeah, I mean, what more could you want? So I
Also, shout out to the
wow.
vocalist because he used to be on a Brewtal alumni band, Sagan, and they're coming out
Yep.
with an album sometime soon, maybe in the next year. But you didn't hear that from me. And all I'm saying is keep an eye out. We love that band too, still.
Yes.
And they just released a new track today, so go check that out.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's exciting.
Yes. I had to give him a shout out just because there is a cross connection and the fact we love that vocalist because the track we featured from them, it was like a noose was tightening around his neck and he had this awesome scream and we're like, oh, whatever happened to him? Well, he's in Larcinia Row, so.
Yeah, shout out to was it the Roots of Proctor, that album?
Yes.
If you want like a good precursor to Larcinia Row, check that album out. It's a fun album for sure.
Learn a bit of history.
Great choices, dude. Learn a bit of history. Yeah. Some fucked up history, but that's history. Also, when you talk about 200 stab wounds, I realized that I've been fucking it up already. I kept saying maniac instead of manic, so I apologize. Good
yeah,
call.
same root word.
So yeah, it's not much different. Yeah, I gotta listen to the Ulcerate one more, dude. Like, I really do like that album, but I didn't give it as much time as you have. So
you gotta be in a certain mood for it. I'll say that. Like, it's a long. Every track is long, so you just gotta be in a be seated for it.
Right. Get cozy,
Yep.
have a bevy,
Get a
dude, or
blanket,
what?
get a little beverage next to
Yeah.
you, curl up next to your loved one.
Make sure you light candles, lots of candles.
Lots of candles, yes.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's what's up. Okay, so number 5 for your boy. I'm going with Baron and Perdition.
Oh my God, I forgot
Mm,
about that album.
I almost did too, but then I was scanning the list again. I'm like, no, 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 no. Like this is a newer band and it's dumb fucking heavy.
Dumb.
Uh Dumb fucking heavy. It's actually like it should be up way higher, but there's just ones I listen to more. But check out that album for sure. Echoing Todd, I have not the same number, but same band. Cognitive with Abhorrence. That's one I remember, Todd, when Cognitive's last album came out, you championed that one a lot.
Swirling
And
Death Tornado on the album cover.
so sick, dude.
Yeah.
The band is incredible, but I just didn't really listen to him that much. And, fuck me, because that was dumb. But Abhorrence is, yeah, they got heavier. And there's some really like cool melodic parts in there too. So it's still tech death, but
It's got the energy of Darkest Hour in a way. Like, I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which makes no, they're from Cognitive's from New Jersey.
Close
Dark
enough.
things from DC. Anyway,
Close enough.
close enough. uh, so moving on to number 3. This is one that this band's been around for a fucking hot minute, but again, never really listened to. I went with Benighted and Ekbom.
Yes.
Dude, this album is so fucking fun. It's really fucking cool. I forget what Ekbom means, but I think it's like a disease. But listen to Benighted. That shit's fucking sick. Number 2, I had to go with Filth with Southern Hostility, which is going to be weird given like the order and like the other band's heaviness. But this band, like Todd said,
talking about enjoyability.
Right. I just listen to this all the time. Like Chin Check is
Get your
like,
shit right,
it should be the national fucking anthem, dude. May he rest in dirt's one of my favorite lines. It's just so good. And yeah, like Todd said, this is Filth coming into their own in a very good way. And if you like Amir, you're gonna like this album. That's the biggest takeaway. And sometimes that might be a bad thing for people, but fuck you. This is good. So yeah, that was number 2. Number 1, 200 Stab Wounds with Manual Manic Procedures. It just rose to the top for me. We've already talked about that enough, but
we were waiting for that one for a while because they came out like a single, and then people were like, okay, and I don't even think that's on the album. So
yeah, I don't think so either. And it was like 3 years in between when Slave to the Scalpel came out.
Well, the thing was too, because like all of these other death metal bands were releasing like their magnum opus, and then all of a sudden it's just like, okay, well, we know 200 Stab Wounds exist. Like let's hear that new shit. And
what are they doing?
You guys, you fucking killed it. Literally, you dissected it. Yeah, pulled it apart.
200 times. Yeah, dude.
Too many times. 200 too many times.
It's excessive, but we like it.
Maybe just get a little bit more accurate with
Right, you could have did this once. I don't know.
Oh, well,
I'm not here to judge.
You know what? I'm gonna listen to y'all when Terrifier 3 comes out, so it's gonna be a great time.
Actually, get them in Terrifier 3.
Honestly, yeah, and do it like how Slipknot had that cameo in that roller derby.
Oh, Rollerball, dude!
Yes.
Oh my god, what a waste of a cameo.
Oh, what a time to be alive! Early 2000s.
01 was a crazy time.
Let's keep moving. I'm getting loopy from the gin. We are moving on to our most brutal song, and like I mentioned, it was gonna be a Larcenia Row song, but nay. I instead went with a band that I truly love, Nihilist. and it was so hard to choose.
It's gonna be Nihilist like every time now,
Dude,
dude.
I'm in the dark room right now, and honestly, dude, I'm gonna listen to that album.
Ooh, there you go. Well,
I
they also just dropped a new single too, so
Well, it was hard to choose which song because I could have gone with I could have, but I went with Drown because of Johnny Carduo of Carcosa.
yeah.
He blesses
Yep.
every track that he hops on. That's just the fact. And
I love you, Johnny. I'll say it.
what I love, Nihilist, the guy, told us what he was going to do. He DM'd me because he was very appreciative of the fact that I had his album so high last year, especially at number one. He said like
The highest.
he's gonna take that sound but make it in a way more accessible, which is almost crazy to think about. But he did it, and he's doing it, and he just announced the album, so that's coming out.
Yes.
I can't wait. I can't wait. It's gonna fuck up my
Perfect
list.
spooky season.
It's gonna fuck up my list, and thank you for doing so.
Yeah, it's hard to compete with your Nihilist or your Larcinia Rose or any band that's in like that kind of vein, which
Because it's heavy and it's mixed with horror, and like
that's really it.
That tickles my black heart. So
yeah, it's the soundscape.
yes,
Like you have something inherently already fucking creepy in the horror soundscape, and then you add heavy fucking riffs to it, which just work.
and you know how they talk about vocals as another instrument. He uses it like that as an instrument,
Yes.
and to great effect. And to get these features on O, you got Waking the Cadaver. Come on.
We all know Fred Nihilist is very good at getting features.
Yes. I don't think anyone says no to him, and it shows. Just probably, we don't really know him, but I have to assume a great guy, and is also putting in the work to make some of my favorite music in the past 2 years. So
As The Rock said, dude, we love The Rock. Put in the hours. There's more to that, but that's the gist.
I'm queuing up his album right now for later.
Fun to play with Resident Evil too. Very fun.
You know what? Not a bad combo.
It's no surprise that I had a hard time with this particular one because I don't keep up with like as good as Todd does with these last two particularly. But I'm going with one that I kind of alluded to before when I was talking about Funeral Massacre. It's Funeral Massacre with First Degree on the track too. Not to be confused with Peacemaker's EP, but that would be sick. But the track is Vicious Words, all caps, and words is spelled with a Z. So you know it's good.
That's how you know.
Dude, it's beatdown. And again, these sub drops are stupid. It's super long. It's perfectly placed. And at least I personally don't feel like subs are used that much. Like when I listen to beatdown, like they are in there, but I don't listen to it as much as I do like deathcore. And like that's a pretty big staple, especially with the resurgence, the MySpace deathcore resurgence. But whatever, I'm probably wrong. Whatever, fuck me. I love it. This track, like, there's so much, dude. The whole EP heavy, but this one in particular, I was just like the subs. It's really like the bass drops into and there's 2 or 3 breakdowns in there, and they get like progressively heavier. What's not to love?
That.
Funeral Massacre is so fucking sick, dude. I'm glad that I actually took the time to listen to them, and I would love to go to a show and see what that looks like.
It's your funeral.
Yeah.
It's your massacre.
It is. It will be a massacre. Yeah. So that's Brewtal songs. So we have Nihilist and Funeral Massacre. What about band? Our last category of Q2 2024. What are you going with? Is it Larcinia Row or Nihilist, dude?
It's Nihilist. It's
yeah.
I mean, with the singles that have come out, and the album announcement. They mean
Maybe
so
we
much.
should stop.
They just mean,
Maybe we should stop these categories because it's just going to be Nihilist or Larcinia Row from now on.
I know it's kind of like a precursor for what's to come for the end of the year list. But
Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert. Well, here's the thing: Gorehammer still has yet to release anything. So,
Ooh, Johnny's not in there though, so I don't know what that's going to look like. But they also have Big Chalk.
I believe, yeah, big jockey, big jockey's gonna pull.
It's gonna be good. That's still gonna be good.
That's gonna be good. But back to Nihilist Band. Like, I am championing that band. Check them out if you want something original in the deathcore arena. Again, it's just creepy, atmospheric, crazy ass vocals. Come on, man. Great features now.
It's good shit, dude. For sure. Actually, I think I'll be joining you and revisiting the room. Maybe I'll see you there. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I'm actually gonna say go through all the new singles first and then revisit the room, because that's actually what I'm gonna do first.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
Look, I'm
gonna listen to the room, then go to singles.
I am looking out for you.
All right, I'll do it. I'm happy that Nihilist is still continuing to top the ranks, which rightfully so. Again, creative.
Step up, motherfuckers.
Heavy. Step up, motherfuckers.
Show me what we got.
All right, so Todd's got Nihilist. Most brutal band for your boy over here. I went through quite a few different ones, but at the end of the day, I had to go with Knocked Loose. Okay. And I say this because they are very fucking heavy, but the fact that they have garnered as much of a fan base as they had for being as heavy as they are, like, it's almost unheard of. Like, you look at their numbers on, I mean, you know, that doesn't really necessarily mean anything, but it does to an extent. Like, they've got millions. Yeah, I mean, dude, like when I saw them, I don't know if it was sold out, but it was damn close at a 2,000 cap, and like almost the entire floor was a pit. And like, that's pretty fucking cool. And again, very divisive band. We're huge fans of Knocked Loose, always have been, always will be. And they just continue to hone their craft, staying true to their sound while still expanding it and getting on like these crazy, like these big tours. Like they're doing headlines now, but like I could see them being like, they were on tours like Motionless. And the big thing with Knocked Loose too is like, you have like your Motionless fans, like your casual like metalheads, and we also love Motionless in White, but at this point, you know, they're huge. They're fucking huge.
Oh yeah.
And Knocked Loose is getting to that level, but like 10 times heavier. And like, that just blows my mind.
They're putting Kentucky more on the map than Jack Harlow will ever.
Yes.
You heard that.
You heard that. And that's all facts, dude. Straight facts, no printer, as the kids say.
Get me a bourbon.
Dude, it's cool. And like, they're just like genuinely like stoked to play music too. And like, the videos are fucking sick. Like Knocked Loose motherfucker, they've made into like the mantra. And yeah, say what you will about Knocked Loose. I'm sure we'll get some shit for it. I don't care. Love that band. Love what they're doing. And they're still heavy as fuck. So
it's not heavier
that's my pick.
than before.
If there is no tear in the fabric over here, my friends.
All right, guys. That is the end of our show. But just be on the lookout for what comes next. We are still featuring people. We're kind of expanding our horizons, as you've seen. We've started including people from breweries, and we are part metal, part beer. So stay tuned, and we're excited. And there's still a lot of year left, so we'll get some more.
Yes.
Some cool features in, some good interviews in. Yeah.
What's left to say? Cheers, Hopwolves. We love you. Stay brutal, friends.